So Brian Kilmeade, who does the show before us here, and he's been on our show before. Of course, you know Brian Kilmeade from Fox and Friends. This morning, he reacted to Donald Trump not condemning white supremacists. Have a listen to Brian Kilmeade's response, who clearly is a Republican and a Trump supporter.
There was only one person who called the other one a clown, a racist, the worst president ever, and told to shut up. And that was Joe Biden on Donald Trump. But Donald Trump blew the biggest layup in the history of debates by saying not condemning white supremacists. I don't know if he didn't hear it, but he's got to clarify that right away. That's like, are you against evil? Why the president didn't just knock it out of the park, I'm not sure.
And then you have former Republican Senator Rick Santorum. They don't get more right than Rick Santorum. He is a Trump enabler, and he is a huge, staunch Donald Trump supporter. He does it every single day. But I want you to listen to what Rick Santorum said last night on national television, explaining, and you know what? I hardly ever agree with Rick Santorum. But I appreciate the fact that in this important moment, he was being 100% honest. And Rick Santorum said it best when people asked him, why would Trump answer the question like that when it comes to the Proud Boys? Listen to what Rick Santorum said.
Yeah, I would say the Democrats owe a lot to Chris Wallace, because Chris Wallace asked those two questions, not Joe Biden. It was Chris Wallace who asked those two questions. And he asked them for a reason, because he asked two questions where he was asking the president to do something that he knows the president doesn't like to do.
Which is
say something bad about people who support him.
Absolutely true. It's absolutely true. There is no question that the people in the Proud Boys support him. Now, we could have a debate, and we could talk about the president's response or how you didn't think it was as bad.
We could talk about the Proud Boys not being white supremacists.
Okay, so
we could talk about the Proud Boys president being Enrique Tarrio,
if I can just finish,
who is a Cuban American.
Okay, so if I could just
we could talk about the Proud Boys not looting, vandalizing,
we're going to get into that. We're going
causing
to get
problems.
Okay, that's not true, and we will get into that.
That is true.
And we will get we will get into that.
Okay, are you sure we're going to get into that?
I just said we would get into it. If you'd like to defend the Proud Boys for 2 hours, I'm certainly not going to do that.
No, if you want to call them, sexist, you want to call them Western chauvinists, that's fine. But don't call them racist or white supremacists, because they simply are not white supremacists.
Let's start off from the beginning, and let's talk about what the FBI calls them, because I care more. With all due respect, JD.
With all due respect, James Comey is testifying right now, and he just claimed he just made a statement that Barack Obama was checking with him periodically to see how the Russian investigation was going.
Okay, so we're not going to do that. No.
DNI Daniel Radcliffe came out yesterday.
We're not going to talk about Barack Obama. We're not
talking. If you're going to talk about the FBI and give them a lot of credit, I'm going to say you need to discredit the FBI. Then, Brian.
Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to talk about James Comey, and I'm not going to talk about Barack Obama.
We're talking about the FBI.
We are talking about the Proud Boys, and please let me speak now, because I'm going to give you. You want to talk about the Proud Boys? Fine, I'm glad to. If you want to defend the Proud Boys, that's on you. But I'm going to go with the facts, and here are the facts. The group admits only men. They were
sexist.
Okay, I can't do this.
Sexist, Brian.
I can't do this.
That does not make you a white supremacist.
Okay, so here's the way we're going to do this, JD. And if you don't agree to it, then you can do the show today. I'm going to talk, and I'm going to give my opinions, and then you're going to give your opinions. I'm going to read from an article, because unlike you, I did do some research last night on the Proud Boys, and I do have some information with facts, not opinions. These are not my opinions. We can
Brian,
talk about.
I had a conversation with the president of the Proud Boys.
That's very touching, but I'm going to give you actual facts. So
don't tell me I didn't do research on it, Brian.
That's very touching. You asked him to come on the show. I think that's a ton of research. I appreciate you doing that, but I actually did hours of research on this group, and I'm going to talk about it right now, and I'm going to give facts, not because I had a conversation with somebody who's willing to come on a radio show. That means nothing to me. Here's the fact. Now, let me start over. This group admits men only and was classified back in 2018 by the FBI as an extremist group, while the Southern Poverty Law Center, pretty well-respected group, by the way, a lot more respected, I think, than the Proud Boys.
Getting sued by several different organizations, Brian.
We're not going to be able to get through this show.
Just letting you know.
Okay, well, then let me know afterwards.
The SPLC is a part of a lot of lawsuits right now.
So, again, I'm going to give my opinions, but first I'm going to give some facts, and then if you disagree with me and you want to refute everything, you're welcome to do so. But if you could please give me the respect of doing it when I'm done. Just because you disagree with me doesn't mean you can do what Donald Trump did for 90 minutes last night and interrupt me every 5 seconds. I'm not going to allow that to happen.
By the way, Chris Wallace interrupted Donald Trump 76 times last night.
We're not talking about that. We're specifically talking, though, about you interrupting me. I would appreciate it if you could please let me get through this without every 5 seconds interjecting.
Well,
please.
Do I get to give my opinion on the debate or not?
No, you don't get to give your opinion on the debate. That is
good.
What are you talking about?
I was hoping I didn't get to.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. We're talking about right now this group. that you seem to want to defend, and I'm going to give you some facts about the group, and then you can give your opinions. And if you want to defend this group, you're more than welcome to. You're more than welcome to do that if you want to. I feel sorry for you, but you're more than welcome to. All right, so I'll start over again for the third time. This group admits only men, classified back in 2018 by the FBI as an extremist group, while the Southern Poverty Law Center lists it as a hate group. The Anti-Defamation League describes the group as misogynistic, Islamophobic, transphobic, and anti-immigration. To join the group, members must take an oath. And they must say, I refuse to apologize for creating the modern world. The group maintains it is not racist and simply wants to hark back to traditional Western values. Its worldview incorporates elements of the white genocide conspiracy theory. The Proud Boys have a history of street violence against left-wing activists and protest movements. In recent months, they have repeatedly turned up to oppose Black Lives Matter or Antifa demonstrations, while their presence often sparking violent clashes. Last year, 2 members were jailed for 4 years for beating up an anti-fascist activist in New York. Former Proud Boys member Jason Kessler was instrumental in bringing together the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville in August 2017. That did include, if you recall, attendee members from the Ku Klux Klan and neo-Nazis. The majority of mainstream social networks have banned the group's presence, which includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Now, I don't need to call them a white supremacist group, but I'll call them a hate group because that's what the FBI called them. The FBI has called them a hate group. I told you what the Southern Poverty Law Center has called them and the Anti-Defamation League. So I'm going to listen to what the FBI and what those other organizations are calling this group out for, not people on the right that are Donald Trump supporters. I will also tell you that this group is now gloating with what Donald Trump said yesterday, and that's really what we're talking about here. I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on what the Proud Boys are. Stand back and stand by. Now, if anyone out there doesn't think that that's wrong and inappropriate for the president to say to this hate group labeled by the FBI, then I don't know what to tell you.
Actually, I think Joe Biden calling Antifa an idea and not an actual organization or an issue is a little more troubling than that, considering the amount of damage they've caused nationwide during these BLM protests and riots.
By the way, that wasn't Joe Biden. That was the FBI.
Oh, no, that was actually Joe Biden that said that.
He was quoting the FBI.
That doesn't mean that he didn't say that last night.
Yeah, he was quoting the FBI. That's what the FBI said.
Yeah, Christopher Wray said that. Christopher Wray is actually being asked to resign as we speak.
But we're not talking about that.
By Senator Doug Collins. The FBI has been proven to be compromised after what happened last night with the release of the document that basically confirmed, and this is Daniel Radcliffe, this is not Russian information, that Hillary Clinton
Why are we talking about that?
Because I'm saying the FBI is not to be credited right now, Brian.
Let's discredit the FBI.
And that being said,
stand back and stand by.
And that being said, Donald Trump and his Platinum Plan actually did condemn white supremacists. He specifically, his Platinum Plan, which I talked about last week, or I think on Monday.
We're talking about last night.
No, his Platinum Plan stated specifically that the KKK would be a domestic terrorist organization. Hey, stop interrupting me, Brian.
Okay. We're not talking about that. You're talking about everything else other than what we're talking about.
Don't accuse me of interrupting you.
Okay, well, you're not addressing what we're talking about.
Of course I am.
Wish you would.
Of course I am,
right, well,
Brian.
if you want to talk about the Platinum Plan for 10 minutes, go ahead.
Not for 10 minutes, just for a minute here, Brian. You'll be okay. It'll be fine. I promise you. Okay. The KKK is declared a domestic terrorist organization under the Platinum Plan. It declares Juneteenth a federal holiday. It puts $500 billion into African-American inner cities for various banks. It wants to create 3 million different small businesses owned specifically by African-Americans. I'm sorry, 500,000 small businesses and 3 million jobs. So, and Donald Trump has condemned white supremacists on multiple occasions. He doesn't think the Proud Boys are white supremacists, and neither do I. The leader, his name is Enrique Tarrio. He is the president. He's based out of Miami. He is Cuban American. A lot of Proud Boys are not white. They're mixed racially. Now, if you want to call them sexist because they only admit men, fine. I'll buy that. You want to call them Western chauvinists because that's what they call themselves? Fine, I'll buy that as well. But you cannot call them white supremacists, Brian.
I didn't call them white supremacists. I said they were a hate group.
Well, then why is everyone saying that Donald Trump did not denounce white supremacists when Joe Biden brought up the Proud Boys when the Proud Boys are not white supremacists?
Would you like me to answer that?
And what was
wouldn't.
It? No. Did he say the KKK? Had Joe Biden said the KKK,
like me to answer your question?
Donald Trump would have said they should be a domestic terrorist organization.
Would you like me to answer
just like
your question?
was included in the Platinum Plan.
Did you ask me a question?
Yes,
okay,
please answer the question,
usually when you
Brian.
ask me a question, you keep talking for 5 minutes and then I forget what you asked.
Oh, okay.
Now that we have the thought, here's the thing. So Wallace brings up white supremacist, And then Joe Biden brings up the Proud Boys.
And Trump
Okay,
asks.
I can't answer
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Okay, if you think I'm wrong.
He brought up white supremacists, and Trump said, "Who do you want me to denounce?" First of all, he said, "Sure, I'll do that." Who should it be? Who do you want me to name?
Okay, when you ask me a question,
and Biden said the Proud Boys, and Trump obviously doesn't think they're white supremacists because they are not.
Okay,
you want to call them a hate group? Fine.
I will ask you respectfully.
Trump looks at them as a militia that goes out of their way to stop people.
I will ask you
to stop
respectfully
groups,
one more
not
time.
ideas, groups like Antifa, from causing problems around the country.
I will ask you respectfully one more time, and only one more time. When you ask me a question, please give me more than 3.
Was that an ultimatum, Brian? You're giving ultimatums to your co-host on air.
Call it what you like.
Okay.
I'm sorry that you showed up a little late today again, but I would have had this conversation with you before the show. I hate to do it on the air, but I'm going to ask you one more time, and I ask you respectfully, please. When you ask me a question, it's not funny.
Hey, don't call me a clown 3 times.
Okay,
just don't do that.
Okay,
or a racist.
I haven't called you a clown.
Or say I'm the worst radio host ever.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a break now. All right, Sean, we're going to take a break, and we'll see if JD can get it together. We'll have a conversation off the air.
I'm totally fine.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this in 60 seconds. You're listening to The Vegas Take. All right, welcome back. It is The Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro getting things together here on The Vegas Take. We're talking about what everybody really is talking about this morning, which is the presidential debate last night, the Proud Boys. As I said, the FBI labeled them an extremist group. The Southern Poverty Law Center labeling them a hate group. The Anti-Defamation League describing them as a misogynistic, Islamophobic, transphobic, and anti-immigration group. And Donald Trump's response yesterday, which is what we're talking about, his response to this group, stand back, stand by. So what has this group done? They've decided to gloat about that. In fact, their new emblem, if you go on their social media, says stand back and stand by.
Stand back and stand by.
Exactly. Now, all the president had to do, and many Republicans agree with me, was denounce this group. That's all he had to do. But he decided not to do that. And it was a big mistake.
Because he doesn't believe they are white supremacists, Brian. He was asked to denounce white supremacists.
I didn't use the term white supremacist.
No, Chris Wallace did. Joe Biden brought up the Proud Boys as a white supremacist group. Donald Trump doesn't believe they're white supremacists, and he shouldn't because they are not.
So can I ask you a question now?
So he didn't denounce them.
So can I ask you a question?
He believes they are a militia that help battle.
So let me ask you a question.
Actual groups that do cause a lot of damage nationwide, like Antifa, who we've seen hundreds and hundreds of videos of these guys attacking people with skateboards.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Burning down buildings.
Okay, so we're not talking about Antifa now.
Throwing Molotov cocktails at police officers.
So we're not talking about other groups right now.
Attacking federal courthouses.
Okay, I know you want to talk.
The Proud Boys have not done any of that, Brian.
First of all.
And again, the leader of the Proud Boys is a Cuban-American named Enrique Tarrio.
So, quote,
the entire organization is very split up racially. It's not just Caucasians. Okay. There are Hispanics, there are blacks, there are Asians in the Proud Boys, Brian.
Okay, so for you, what you just said
I will agree they're sexist.
What you just said is a lie, and I'll explain to you why right now. Last year, 2 members of this actual group are still in jail, by the way. They got 4 years each in prison for beating up an anti-fascist activist in New York. There are other examples, but for you to say they just don't do that and they don't do any violence or anything is completely...
No, I'm saying they don't destroy public property.
So it's okay for them to beat people up.
They don't terrorize... The United States.
Okay,
Antifa
so let's go.
does it on a consistent basis.
All right, so you got to let me finish.
Brian,
first
look
of all,
what's going
you got to let me
Portland.
finish. You interrupted me again.
No, I didn't.
They were part of Charlottesville. The creator, the former Proud Boy member, Jason Kessler, was instrumental in bringing together the Unite the Rally in Charlottesville, where one woman was killed back in August of 2017 and included among its attendees members of the Ku Klux Klan and neo-Nazis.
You said former Proud Boy member.
At the time he was. Let's take a break.